took the test at home first and was just not, kind of disbelief, because came in and was very apprehensive at first. I think I started to get comfortable pretty quick. It's very welcoming and a lot of support, non-judgmental, and they're genuinely trying to help you do what's best. I was in no position to have a baby or try to raise a child. I didn't have a stable house situation, was in a horribly abusive relationship in all kinds of ways. Just not a healthy environment, but I was left with a choice, and I came here and I was honest with everybody about the situation, and I just received a lot of support. We talked about, how you would possibly feel if you go this route, and then if you go this route, how you could possibly feel. Just open book, just talking about all the possibilities. I stuck it out, and you guys continued to offer me resources to escape the situation, but you know how that goes. It took me years to finally get out of it. Julian was about 18 months old, and then I was able to get out and get into the apartments over here, which has been a lifesaver. I mean, I've been the happiest I've been in my whole life, and I'm continuing to go up. When I first got in there, I think I came with trash bags of clothes, and I had like a blanket or something. I didn't have much. We slept on the floor, and then you guys came together. I mean, y'all basically furnished like half my house right off the bat, and I was so grateful for it, because it was all I had, and it meant so much to me, and it was just a great foundation to build on, which is what I've done. So I was, late. So to appease my friend, and we were like, oh, we'll just take a test. And then, so we set it up in my bathroom, and then we walked in there together and just about had a heart attack. I mean, we both went, and I immediately started bawling. I was not happy. Honestly, I was, again, how could I let this happen? I'm in no position. Yes, I had the apartment, but just mentally, the way things were going with the father, the one I had gotten away from that I had let come back around, again, I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I came up here and was kind of reluctant to tell everybody. Especially because it was with, the guy I had just escaped from, and here's your options. You can, if you go this route, here's the possibilities. If you go this route, here's the possibilities. And then Amy had sat down and kind of gave me her testimony about it.
I think when I first met you, we were in one of those rooms down the hall, and Tammy and Teresa both came in and said, this is Lauren, this is her son Julian.
The situation she had went through when she was younger, and just kind of some of the emotions and feelings that she's had to live with, and that, she just wanted to be honest with me, like, hey, this is how it's affected me. If you decide to, terminate the pregnancy, there's possibilities that you could forever regret the decision, or have lifelong impact on your mental health.
And she said, Tammy said for me to ask you if you will tell your story. I said, Lauren, are you pregnant? And you said, yes.
Yep.
Yes. And
surprised everyone.
And you mentioned you're the dad, and you said that he told you to get rid of it. Like, yes, I'll tell you my abortion story, how it affected me, and then how things just, you carry it on with you, and you will for the rest of your life. It's something that if I had to do over again, I wouldn't do it. But God has let me be able to tell my story to help you and others out there, that there are options.
It
There are
does.
options out there that you don't have to be afraid of.
Right.
And there's people that'll walk behind you, carry you along, and then
Like you're not alone.
you're not alone. And it's like, so you said, well, I'm going to have an ultrasound. I think it was 2 days later up here at the pregnancy center, and she said, will you come? And
Right.
yes, I'll come.
And I remember that too.
Oh my gosh.
Right there in that room. I remember seeing it.
Yes.
It looked like a gummy bear.
Well, and I just remember Teresa was here, Tammy was here, and before you even came, we were already in here praying.
Yeah.
When we went into the room to get the ultrasound,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my gosh.
Had it up there on the big
It was a big screen,
and
and at that moment when we heard that heartbeat, and
Yeah.
you could see that little fetus in there,
I
it
knew.
brought back
Yeah.
memories to me, because here you are trying to make the right decision. If I'd have had that big screen and got to have the ultrasound and hear all that, I probably would have changed my mind.
I think that did probably play a big role in my ultimate decision, just seeing it becoming real. It's there, there she is. I didn't know it was a she at the time, but kind of was like, didn't know if I could even do that. I'm like, oh, how am I going to have this baby? But at the same time, I'm like, I can't do that, because I knew that I would feel like that. I knew I would regret it, and I'd never be able to get over it. And so, talking with Amy and hearing everything she had to say really kind of brought it down to reality in that moment. Made me think I'd rather put my energy and everything into raising this baby the right way instead of dealing with the consequences of not having the baby. I thought it would be better, and oh my goodness, my daughter, I never thought I needed a daughter. I was always afraid to have a daughter, and then I had one, and she has been life-changing. I couldn't imagine a day without her. She's the light of everyone's life that knows her. She's just so big and full of personality and just adorable, just the sweetest thing. She's a little angel. Oh, my Layla, my little Layla. When I got home from the hospital, you guys had put together like a week's worth of meals. So, y'all made sure that we ate for at least that week or two. It might have even been 2. It was a lot of food, and it was delicious. And so that really helped me out, because transitioning from having just one little one, because Julian was 3 when I brought Layla home. And so it was a tough transition, trying to just figure it all out. And I also had, negativity brought to me from the father, and little to no help from him. So it was a lot to navigate, but I did it. I'm blessed to have y'all in my life. Like I said, we all look forward to coming and sharing and just being here, and yeah, y'all have done a lot for our life, continue to do. So it became pretty crucial for me to have some sort of transportation, and with not having, the financial means to just go and purchase a brand new car or anything, it just became something that was like a big, something holding me back, a big barrier in my life. And so I remember one day, I think you called me, it was you and Jennifer, y'all came, you're like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, what's up? You're like, can we come steal you for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. We pull up, and, we pull up here, and there's this car parked here, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but, y'all were trying to be, like, all secretive about it. And then I think y'all walked me over to it, and you were like, here's your new car. And I was like, no way. I just instantly, of course, broke down. It was just, I couldn't believe it. Life-changing. Again, I had I wasn't stressed. I had a way around. I was so grateful, thankful. I loved it. My kids, Julian was excited. I had a way to take Julian to school and back, you know, not having to rely on whoever. So it was a nice, very nice thing that you guys did. So I know when I come here, it is a safe space, and I can just kind of get anything off my chest, and then I'll receive, you know, always receive positive feedback. Julian taught me some lessons, and going through all that with him kind of helped me grow in a lot of ways. And then, you know, in the time between then, I was kind of starting to make some bad decisions, you know, and then Layla came along, and I think she kind of set me on another path, kind of taught me some more, you know, really key things that are important in life, and made me look at things differently and prioritize things differently. And so I really think each of them taught me their own set of just like life lessons that have ultimately improved my life. So I don't want to think about who I would be if they weren't here either, because they've really helped me put life into perspective, and I'm grateful for that.
But there's times when you called and said, hey, can you come up and talk to someone who's thinking about abortion? And it's like, yes, I will come anytime, you know, and that's, you know, it's a comfortable place to be able to share, but it's also a ministry as well. You know, if you can just save a life, you don't have to hide it, and you don't have to be afraid anymore. And if you can give that over to any mom to say, I do have choices.
Pro mom,
Yeah.
pro family, pro just anything positive, really, because y'all never once like avoided the subject, you know, of abortion or tried to make condescending comments or nothing. It was just, here's your options, and honest, this is how you know, and like you got testimonies from real life, you know, people who've experienced it, and you're just getting all the information so you can really think about it when it comes to a big decision like that. Just tons of support. It's nice to know you have somebody in your corner that you can really rely on.